Hello there, friends. How are you? It's yours truly, Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, where I train Black women of faith to become certified life coaches online in one day. We are currently at 182-ish life coaches. I lose count all the time, but trust me, people are getting certified. We just interviewed one of our newly certified life coaches on our podcast at Black Life Coach Radio on yesterday. Say hey when you come in the room. I know y'all ain't seen me in a while. Hey, girl. And I'm on here at a different time than I usually am because something is on my heart. Y'all know I jump on Facebook Live in this new season when something is really on my heart. Hey, Camille. Hey, Coach Michelle Green. How are you? So, two things I got to share with you guys. Hello, Coach Alexis in Texas. How are you? Y'all, I tried something new I learned on TikTok recently, and I'm just loving the effects. I have for years, people always talk about my smile, compliment my smile and my teeth. I have for years used the cheapest toothpaste at Walmart that I could find. It used to be like 89 cents and combine it with baking soda. And sometimes it'll have peroxide in it, right? Been using it for 20, 30, 40 years now. Yesterday, saw a TikTok video that talked about adding coconut oil to that and hydrogen peroxide. So I just did it, and I'm like, hey, y'all. You know, I'm loving this glow up. So y'all just give me a minute. I'm trying a lot of new things. So that's the highlight, because I'm like, look at them teeth. Hey, Lisa. Let's see, Lisa Mike. Y'all, are y'all coaches? I know two of my coaches I've seen jumped on here. Camille, I think at our last chat, you were a coach, you were becoming a coach. Hey, Coach Coach Samil. It's so many of y'all. We got a Camille, a Samil. We got a lot of Andreas. We got Kellys. Y'all, I'm losing count. I told y'all we had 181 Black life coaches, but child, let me tell you, in the last 2 years, I have hired about 10 coaches myself. And I can count on all 10 fingers. Well, probably 5, and I hate to say it, but 5 out of 10 were Black, and these were the 5 that really got under my skin, got on my nerves to the point that I have cried and wanted to cuss, all because they were coaching without a plan. So what I've realized is your next level as a coach, just because you invest higher does not mean that it's going to be easier. It does not mean that coach has aced or mastered their process for coaching. So I'm a visual learner. How many visual learners we got in the comments? What that means is we can hear you. Like, I'm auditory as well, so I listen to thousands of episodes of podcasts per month. You know, some people read a lot of books. I read a lot of books as well, but podcasts, I can multitask. So I'm processing here, but I also gonna go back and do this. Write notes, rip them out of my journal and can't find them later, but that's neither here nor there. I'm a visual learner too, Lisa Mike, and so what that means is we need to see stuff. So if I join your coaching program, I need a syllabus, just like any college course would give me. And I've told so many coaches this. Again, they happen to be Black, so that's why I'm speaking on it, because maybe some of y'all here, hey, Brittany Neal. So I need to be able to check off a list as we go. If you tell me 12 weeks of coaching with me, I need to know what we're doing in weeks 1 through 12. I don't need, your script of what we'll talk about, but I need bullet points. Give my brain something to work with, check off a list, and I'll know by the end of our 12 weeks together, here's what we will have accomplished, because we did this, check this, and I can go and watch my beautiful handwriting, because I write really good. Y'all can't tell by those notes, because I was trying to get it out. I was like, I got to go tell the people, y'all coaching without a plan, and it's getting on my nerves, okay? So all this high-level coaching, you can even be a low-level coach because you're a new coach. That's fine. Some of our new coaches over at blacklifecoachcertification.com, they knew. But they also going through the process of getting this stuff out of their head. And I'm going to tell you about one of our coaches that I interviewed on our radio podcast yesterday who's doing exactly this. And I ain't even tell her to do it. So because many coaches are coaching without a plan, it used to bother me that coaches weren't certified and they were calling themselves coaches. That ain't even it, sis. I figured it out yesterday after I got off the phone with one of my coaches who could tell she had drove me crazy. She stressed me out so bad, y'all. I still feel it, the aftershock. I did my work. But when I get quiet, that means I'm observing and I'm also shutting down and I'm stepping back. Anybody else do that? I isolate. because I need to go think and process. So, I can get out of a program what I need out of a program. I'm going to go write my own syllabus. Here's what I want to accomplish at the end of our time together, coach. It's type A, but it's also type visual learning. Any other visual learners other than me and Lisa in these comments on today? Because if you don't have a written process, you also don't have a repeatable process. And that's what I told my coach yesterday. I said, I want to know that at the end of our time together, you have a process that you can literally pass on to the next person behind me. What she doesn't know is that I have people who are interested in working with her because they see me working with her. And they're like, if Dr. AJ Austin trusts her and invests her time and mental bandwidth with her, I want to be next in line. And I'm like, child, she ain't got no process. I mean, I ain't saying it to gossip. I'm saying it because it's true. And I know you learn like me. So if you want to cry and be frustrated, then, don't put my name in. Don't say I recommend. So I'm saying that, not being shady, not being messy, but child, you can throw us off. If I'm sitting here near tears, why am I crying in a coaching session? This ain't counseling. I'm crying out of frustration. So one thing I do commend her for is she said, I sense your hesitation and it's feeling like resistance. And I said, no, it ain't resistance, but it's frustration. Let me tell you why. And I told her, and she said, you're right. So what we discovered was she was coaching from her head, meaning she had the whole program mapped out in her mind. But me, the visual learner, I need to join in on that conversation. Sis, can you write that down for me? Or tell me and I can write it down so that we can look back at it over time and make it make sense. Oh, okay. So what I realized is I went back through my brain and looked at all the Black coaches that I've hired over the last 2 years, and they are piling up with how many people do not have a written process. Let me tell you how to get a written process as a coach. Y'all ready? Do you have a journal real quick? Like, can you put up an emoji or tell me in the comments if you got a journal, because you got to write this down because we sick of it. This is what we not gonna do this year. Coach Alexa says, yes, I'm a visual learner as well. So yeah, that's why y'all here. Y'all like to see me play with my earrings, let them dangle. Y'all wonder where my eye makeup today. Child, I just came, shower fresh, new fresh pajamas, hair fresh. Told you I brushed my teeth. I won't worry about no makeup today. I was like, I got a Medich. Yeah, I remember Living Color. So here is how you get a process. For all of you coaches, I don't care if you're not certified, but if you are working with people and they are paying you, and let's say you do video coaching or you do coaching by phone, record those conversations. How many of you guys are recording your conversations if you're coaches? Again, this is free game. Y'all ain't got to have trained with me to know this. I'm trying to bless the industry because, again, y'all is getting on my nerves. Okay, I'm telling you what your clients, and that's what I told this coach yesterday. I was like, listen, because she said all her students usually get frustrated. And I said, well, if all your students or coaching clients are frustrated by working with you, you are the common denominator. What are you not providing them in the beginning of your time together that you can avoid some of that frustration? Because I'm frustrated right now. So let me go ahead and tell you what they haven't told you. I'm going to speak for me and the people that I could refer you to, but I don't know, sis. Coach Alexa said, I just bought a new journal yesterday, so crack it open because I'm going to give you the tea. You ready? So what your students, your coaching clients, whatever you want to call it, are not telling you is that, yes, they're ready to sign up. Yes, they want a breakthrough. They want a transformation. They want their aha moments, but they want a process. How are we going to get from A to Z? Again, you don't have to give them a step-by-step script. Give them bullet points to guide. So what that looks like is when you're coaching by phone, you're coaching by video, you're recording these conversations, not just for the sake of recording. My coaches who train with me at blacklifecoachcertification.com know that even in order to come on over to the other side, getting certified as a coach, you have to record your coaching sessions. It's number one to keep track of your progress as a coach. Because can you imagine your very first coaching call ever and you going back millions of dollars later and like, oh, look at baby coach. But really, it's for you to go back and to listen. Don't just record a conversation for the sake of recording. You're going to record the conversation. Of course, send it to your coaching client. I have done this since the beginning of my coaching, where I would record our coaching calls. I would send my clients a copy just in case the conversation got really good and we were talking and laughing and crying and they may have missed something I said, so they don't have to rush and try to write. Like, this was literally my script at the beginning of a call. I'm going to record our conversation just in case you missed something. You don't have to worry about rushing and writing. I talk fast when I get excited. You will get a replay that's forever yours. It's my gift to you. It comes with our coaching package, right? It's a bonus. That's valuable. Number 2, coach, you need to go back and listen to this call. Listen for what you missed, because when we're in the midst of coaching, it's things that are said, it's questions that are asked, it's things that we need to write down to, number 1, capture some marketing material to say, oh, I like how she asked me this question. I'm going to put that in my next marketing message on my sales and copy page. But number 2, you're seeing what you missed in the form of, what did we actually do in this session? I have had so many conversations with coaches who say that they wish there was an easier way to describe their process. One was literally in my messenger inbox yesterday saying, how can I tell people what I do? The best way for you to tell people what you do is to coach with a plan. Your plan starts with you going back to listen to your last coaching conversation and taking notes on what was said. What did your clients tell you that you just did for them? What were the questions they were asking? What were the breakthroughs that came during that call? What were their aha moments? What were your aha moments? And mainly, what was that main result that you got from the session? Now, me being a visual learner, as a trainer, as a coach, and as well as a coaching client, I take copious amounts of notes. As y'all see, I have so many journals. It's a couple of them sitting right behind me. I will take pages of notes to get it out of my head. Especially as we get older, we don't remember everything. So I tell myself, girl, you know you ain't gonna remember that. Go ahead and write that down. We need to be doing that as coaches so that when you get off of every coaching call, you literally have a written process. These notes, these thoughts, these questions, these aha moments from your perspective, from your client's perspective, all because you went and listened to that recorded coaching call. Now, you are starting to build your system. Go through and pull out those big things that jump out like, oh, okay. So in this call, we just simply worked through her vision and what she wanted her goal to be during our 12 weeks together. Call number 2, do the same thing. If you do that for 12 calls, guess what you have? A 12-step system, a repeatable process, a plan, results, a syllabus, a checklist, a tracking program that you can walk your coaching clients through to say, I promise that this is what I did with my last coaching client. This is what you and I are going to do together. And if I think of anything else, we can add it to the system. That's how you also start to write your first coaching book. That's how you start to develop your first coaching program. But overall, it is the literal best way for you to tell people what you do as a coach based on past results. This also starts to build out your testimonial system. So now you have a written, repeatable process and plan. You're taking notes during your call. You're recording your coaching call. You are re-listening to the call. You ain't too busy. One of my longest coaching calls that I had with one of my paid private coaches, coaching clients, what am I trying to say? I was a client. My coach was the coach. We talked for 12 hours, recapping on everything we had done together during our time together. And we worked together for a year. We still talk. When we talk for hours on hours. And trust me, my coach is taking notes. And I know because they go and they write an email about our conversation. That's how good the tracking process can get. Can you imagine all of the coaching conversations you've had if you would have went back and listened or taken notes or documented that process? How many books you could have written by now? How many coaching programs you could have by now? How many more people you could have had help by now? How much more money you could have made as a coach? How much further along? How much more success overall you could have had? Is this helping anybody? Any aha moments? Any breakthroughs? Any takeaways? Have you tried any of this? Because my biggest secret, they say fortune is in the follow-up. This is all of the follow-up process. So what I love to do with my private coaching clients is to not only listen to our calls, record them, take notes, share the link with them, but I also midway through, let's say we're working together for 12 weeks, about week 7, I'm going to send them a midpoint recap saying, based on all of the previous calls we've had so far, here are my notes. Here are my highlights. Here's the work we've done together. Here are your breakthroughs so far. Here is what we can go ahead and check off of our list of things that we said we were going to do. We've done it. You got anything to add? Any questions about the work that we've done so far together? Is this helping anybody? Because this, my dear, is the just of coaching industry. And this is why there is coach hurt. This is why, because there are no plans. People they want to help anybody do anything. Instead of niching down, I help Black women of faith become certified life coaches online in one day. That's very niche, very specific. I can even get more specific and go denominational. I help non-denominational. I help Baptists. I help Pentecostal women. I can get real specific even more. Hey, Coach Tomiko Williams, how are you? She says, yes, this is helping. This is exactly what I needed. Now, let me tell you, Coach Tomiko, how Coach Andrea Stone is using it. And she graduated, let's see, y'all are neck and neck. So I think you had just finished and she kicked us off. The end of last year, she was wrapping it up. Or was it the top of this? I don't know. But y'all were like neck and neck. You, her, and it's another coach. And I interviewed her on our podcast today. I got an email that's going out about it today. And Coach Alexa says, yes, you're always dropping nuggets. I jump on here when I really have something to say, y'all. Like, I don't have a script. I have bullet points. I have the checklist of things I wanted to talk to you about. When I talked to Coach Andrea yesterday, she said that this is exactly what she does. She takes notes. She uses the handbook that comes with our one-day Black woman Christian life coach certification training program that's over at www.blacklifecoachcertification.com. We have several of our coaches in the room on today. Say, hey, coaches, hey. She says, your handbook, Dr. AJ Austin, is my coaching Bible. So when I'm on a coaching call, because you have written out your process for us, I know what questions to ask. She says then at the end of her coaching calls, when she hangs up, and she's had 20 coaching sessions since she got certified, and she is newly certified within like the last 30 days, y'all. Out of 20 sessions, she has 8 new clients. She made $3,000 in her first 2 weeks announcing it to the world. Listening to the Holy Spirit and going ahead and putting herself out there, telling people she was a newly certified Black woman Christian life coach. $3,000 in her first 2 weeks as a new coach because she had a system. My system, when she got off the phone, she had a system written out. Now she has ebooks developing, a conference developing, and coaching programs developing because she started with notes from her call. She literally has a repeatable system that can promise people this is what you're going to get by working with me. She has a process, a script to read from based on her previous coaching calls saying, let me tell you what happened with the last 7 people that I talked to. She said her consultations now has gotten so good when she's scouting with who she wants to work with that after the next 3 she does, she's going to have a waiting list because too many people are coming to her at one time because she can explain her process because it's repeatable. It's written out. She has that plan. She has that vision. She's getting people results, and the proof is in the pudding because she knows, based on her coaching with me in the Black Woman Christian Life Coach Certification Training that's over at blacklifecoachcertification.com. She has a written out process. She knows to record her coaching calls, to go back and listen to her calls, to take notes in those calls, and now she has a repeatable system. She got me so hype on the podcast yesterday, y'all. I am sending her thousands and thousands of dollars of other coaching programs to say, okay, now you're ready for this in your business. I'm just blessing her business. I'm blessing the women that come train with me from this point on. I'm giving you my own programs, how to write your first best-selling book as a coach, how to market that book and make your first few extra $1,000. I've done it, added an extra $13,000 to my new coaching company years ago. So that same model and system I'm sharing with our coaches who have landed their first $5,000 paid coaching client, One of our coaches wrote her first bestseller as a coach, sent it to Steve Harvey's show, Ellen DeGeneres' show. She's like, I got a plan now, Dr. AJ. I know, and this works. I'm sharing how to turn your notes into a coaching program. All of these programs are free when you come get certified with me. It's over $10,000 of extra coaching you're getting for free because I see you're following a system so that you can be a coach with a plan, not someone who just picks up the title and calls himself a coach. Not someone who's just guessing or Googling or copying, pasting. These are the coaches. When you follow my system, you don't have to wonder if you're doing it right. You are never feeling like an imposter. But if you're out there coaching without a plan, you just picked up a title because you think it's trendy and it's cute, then you deserve to wonder and guess if you're doing this thing right. That's all. This has been on my heart since a long time, but I have just been able to summarize it and put it into thoughts. And I realized that the thing that has frustrated me the most with the coaches that I've personally hired, with the coaches that I'm seeing out here that's just calling themselves coaches because it's cute, they're missing a plan, they're missing a vision, they're missing a repeatable, written out, step-by-step process that they can pass on to future coaching clients to get them results quicker. And because I have two very strong spiritual gifts. One is the gift of prophecy, so I'm very discerning. That's why I shut down and I retreat, because I'm going to be done said something that's going to mess somebody up. So I'm going to shut down instead of just really release the power that I know lives within me through the Holy Spirit. Another is the gift of apostleship. I can go into a new business. I can go into a new church. Me and you could talk on the phone, or you could tell me your vision as becoming a Black woman Christian certified life coach. And I can help you build that business, that vision, that church, that nonprofit organization from the ground up. But I'm tired of helping people build their plane as they fly it. It's time to start out with a plan. I no longer have the bandwidth, the brain width to sit with you in a vision that you guessing and Googling your way through, sis. It's time out. You know you're called. You know you're chosen. You know God has said, okay, entrepreneurship is the way. You are deciding, I'm called to coach. I have this anointing. I have this gift. It's time to go help people. Then tell the people, hey, do you mind if I record this conversation? Because I'm building my plane. I heard Lisa Sasevich years ago talk about that, building the plane as you fly it. Sometimes that's okay, but not when you messing with my time and my dollars. I need to see the plane, or at least the sketch of it, so I can say, well, what if you put a door right here? What about another window right here? What about an escape route through the floor? What if you paint the wing a certain color so that it goes higher just a little? Like, I need something to work with, but that's me. And what I know for sure is that the people in my coaching community, those who I'm training as a Black woman Christian life coach, we are so different. Tell them Coach Tomiko, Coach Alexis, Coach Michelle, Coach Samil, y'all on here. We are women of God. We are ministry leaders. We love leadership. We love structure. So many of my coaching conversations before people even sign up to work with me is like, what I'm going to get? Send me a picture. What's in your pro? Like, we need to see what's there. And it's time out for just taking your word for it or trusting you that, we got to trust the process. Yeah, you trust the process and write it down and email it to me. Then I'll decide if we're going to work together. So because we walk different, we have to show up different. That also means that we're hiring coaches different. And I'm to the point where I'm like, I'm tired of guessing with you. You got to show me this plane. Help me help you. Because many of the coaches that I train, we are gifted and skilled in so many areas that can help you make your vision better. Your clients deserve that too. So it's hard, y'all. It takes a lot. Like, I'm about to hop on a call with my accountant, and he emails me throughout the week, hey, how's homework going? And I would tell him, listen, I have not set myself down long enough to do this work. It's hard to sit and focus when you got ADHD-ish brain, when you hyper naturally, when you don't want to sit down, you just want to go help. Nope, the Bible says to write the vision, make it plain. This is part of writing your vision. How do you help people? How do you coach people? And how do you help them get their breakthroughs and their results? Because this is why your clients are not returning. They don't know what y'all did together. They don't know if you helping them. They don't know if their key objectives are being met. You don't know if you helping them. You like, I think what we did. I've heard a lot of coaches say that. Well, how was your last coaching call? I guess it was good. No, ma'am. Show me your notes. That's what I'm going to start telling my coaches. Y'all ready? Coach Tomiko said, she says, ouch, but much needed to hear. So grateful for your authenticity and willingness to call us out. And it is calling out who you could be. Like when I told my coach yesterday, I am trying to help you work out the beta kinks in this program because many of the coaches that I've hired in the last 2 years realize that I'm more advanced than the students and they're used to working with. So I get these customized private coaching packages, which I love because I get undivided attention. I get to ask my questions, but I also get frustrated because it's a new process for them. I know what I know. I know how smart I am, but they don't. So we're taking time to get to know our work style. And that's what I had to explain to my coach yesterday. Here's how I learn versus here's how you teach. And I need us to get unstuck because we stuck. And I told her, if you can't listen to me, here's what I can swear. And this was our conversation. Y'all know I'm going to tell you how I tell. All of my conversations, I can get on camera and repeat word for word. And I ain't afraid, scared, nothing going to be shared because I'm going to tell it first. I told her, if you don't let me get out what I need to get out and share with you right now, I swear to God, I will quit your program right now. But she was very patient. She listened. It meant a lot to my heart because she sensed the hesitation, which was frustration. I guess she picked up that I was over here crying. I was like, and it was just out of frustration, like, this ain't it, sis. This ain't it. And a lot of things that I deal with in coaches, y'all keep this in mind too, my trained coaches, because we walk different as ministry leaders, we will be further advanced than some of the people that we hire. So that means that we will be smarter. Sometimes we'll know more. Sometimes they'll compare themselves to us. People do that to me all the time. They tell me, Dr. AJ, you're so intimidating. No, I'm not. You are intimidated by my gift, but I'm not intimidating. And that's a you problem. Do we want to work together? Is this going to work? And so that's the problem my coach had yesterday. She said, I know you have a process and I have a process. I said, no, ma'am. You have a process in this area. I have a written down process that's making me tens of thousands of dollars in another area. My process is repeatable. We're not the same. There's nothing to compare. I just happen to train coaches. But the bottom line is my process is written down. This is what you need to do for who comes after me. This is your next book. This is your next best-selling coaching program. This is how you get bigger contracts. But I also realize that everybody's not ready to be held accountable. So now I've set the intention to get what I need from working with her and keep it moving. That's it. So that's that gift of apostleship, and I have to just shut it down. God, everybody ain't ready to be called forward. I've spoken into some lives and people like, well, wait a minute. I don't see myself like that yet. Hold on. I'm scared. I'm nervous. And I get it, especially if you ain't wrote out no plan, because if you got it, you'll be like, yeah, that's confirmation. I just wrote that down yesterday. God gave me that and I wrote it in my journal and it makes sense. And also the coaches or the coaching clients that I've served have told me the same thing. So you're just confirming. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to leave that alone. That's another lie. I ain't got my amen going on here. Y'all still have sleep. Wake up now. Coach Alexa says, being kingdom minded, we need to be kingdom focused and operate in kingdom excellence. When I say, this is just the most recent thing that happened yesterday, y'all. I've had a full week of these types of conversations that I've had to just shut it down because y'all would have seen your coach on your evening news. Like, local coach loses it. Nope. Local Christian coach goes off. I've had to just shut it down, come back, talk to Jesus, take a nap, go for a walk. Because, child, it's a lot going on in this coaching industry. And I'm here to educate. So speaking of, what questions do you guys have? Any questions I can answer? Y'all can tell I'm passionate about this. I only have been jumping on Facebook Live in this new season of where I am because I want to help you make your business better. But I'm sharing with you what I see that really irks me. And God just showed me this morning, you got to go deeper with the peeper. So I got to share with y'all what he's showing me because I need a counseling session after all this. Coach Alexa says, amen, I awake, but sneaking away from court duties to listen and respond. I need this today. Hashtag confirmation. I'm so glad this is confirmed. So y'all tell me that one thing that jumped out at you out of the tips I shared. Was it all about having that written process? I don't know where. Oh, I threw my journal over here because I got excited, y'all. So what jumped out at you? Did it help you to learn that you should be recording your coaching calls, going back to listen to those calls, sharing that link with your coaching clients, listening to the coaching calls for what you missed, adding that in your notes that you have taken during this call, and then building your system and your process from call to call to call so that you have a repeatable, mapped out, written down system, and you're not pulling from the sky, you're not guessing, you're not Googling your way through this, you're not copying and pasting what you see other people doing, you're not worried about imposter syndrome, you're not wondering if you're doing this right. This is all based on results. Okay, Coach Alexa says what stood out to her was needing a written plan and process. That's all creating a coaching course is. And by the way, just because you have a course doesn't mean you're a coach. We're going to talk about that coming up soon. Yeah, because course creation ain't coaching necessarily. A coach can have a course, but it starts with this process I just spent time and walked y'all through. I hope this helped y'all. I know it's going to bless somebody. It blessed me on today. Coach Alexa says, I have one, but I need to revise it. Coach Lisa Mike says, I needed this. Girl, what's that one thing that stood out to you, Coach Lisa? I'm assuming you a coach. I just threw a coach in front of your name. And I'm going to share this in our private Facebook group as well, because some of our coaches who are getting certified for the second time, we call them dual certified coaches. When you've been certified with other organizations, then you come train with me. Yeah, they need to hear this too. So I'm going to share this in the group. Coach Tomiko says, for me, this is definitely confirmation because I know that I need something to offer my clients that is repeatable. Repitable. Repitable. Is that how you say it in Spanish? I swear, I know Spanish. Also, going back with my clients to see where they are midway through the sessions. Y'all, I did this with one of our mastermind clients, and I'm so glad I did. This is why I love working with Christian women, because I train us, and God has trained us over the years to listen to our spirit. And I did have a, how long was our program? I don't know how long our program was. This was last year, so y'all know. But yeah, I was taking notes through every call. Like I have a little mini book of notes that I took just from one client every call. If I knew where it's in my work, I would go get it. But I know for sure that after every call, I would look at my notes and I would say, oh, if I had to summarize what we did on this call, here's what that was. Oh, this call was just about setting her intentions for the program. Call number 2, oh, that's just about hearing her goals. Call number 3, this was about laying out the plan of where she wanted to be and seeing what her first step is, giving her homework. Like I could tell you step by step what happened on that call. And also, every one of those calls were recorded. They were an hour long. I could go back with my media player and listen on 2x speed. My brain works really fast, so I listen to recordings and podcasts really fast. But it's just a summary of the notes that I've already taken. So that's confirmation twice, plus what my client has told me. And then I'm sharing the link with my clients. Now, whether they go back and listen is on them, but this is literally our receipt. And then getting halfway through and say, girl, you got 17 pages of notes. If you had to go back through each call and just give one takeaway, what would it be? This is your recap call. Hey, here are the top 17 things that I have seen that we have gained by working together midway through the program. Tell me if I missed something, if you'd like to add something to the list. And more than anything, it's impressive that their coach has been paying that much attention to the calls. One of my coaching colleagues heard a call I did with a client who I decided to let know that they're not a good fit for our program. And she said, you did that so well. And all I did was literally repeat the notes that I took on the call. And the client couldn't figure out why I was denying her access to the program. I said, I'm not denying it. Let's recap our conversation. Number 1, here's what you said. Number 2, here's what I said. Number 3, here's what you said. And number 4, here's what we agreed before we hung up our coaching call. She couldn't say nothing. And then the call recorded. # receipts. Yeah, that's how you do that. So it can work either way, okay? Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Facebook is Russian rouletting my comments, so I'm missing them. Oh, let me make them big. Maybe it'll come back. Okay. The last one I see, Coach Lisa says, recap will be key in my process. A to the man. She says, I needed to hear the process. I don't have one of on written out. So, girl, come back and tell us how much of a difference it makes when your client's like, oh, you good, girl, you're so detailed. And that's even what my coach is saying, because I sent her notes after our call. She asked me to do that, take notes during our call. And when I sent her our first set of notes, she was like, your notes are superb. I'm like, I know, I do this, So I'm like, I'm trying to teach you my ways. Renee says, this was awesome. I need to record my sessions and share with clients. This is an added bonus for them. It is such a valuable bonus. It's like getting you again and again, especially for people who like to go, like my clients have been telling me since the beginning of our time together, I love going back and hearing what you told me and you tell me again. So they can rewind it. They can pause it. They can, you can even have it transcribed for them. A free tip I'll give you too is that I encourage my clients to send a quick follow-up video. So the coaches that come train with me, they're learning the tricks of the trade immediately after your session. Hey, clients. It's Dr. AJ Austin. Thank you so much for our first session together. I think it was a success. What about you? Here are the top 3 things that stood out to me on our coaching call. Number 1, number 2, number 3. You got anything to add? I'm looking forward to seeing you on our next session. Here's what we'll be talking about based on our previous coaching conversation. You see? I'm full of tips and tricks, and I teach it to our clients at blacklifecoachcertification.com. So if you're already certified and you want to become a dual certified coach, that's why when y'all call me and say, what's your success rate in your coaching program? What's different about your coaching program? Child, they ain't teaching y'all this. Okay. So I don't know what you don't know, but I know that I got some tips that you ain't heard of. Okay. I don't know what you learned in your training, but here's what I'm teaching in mine. Okay. Coach Alexa says, helps us to stop and reflect on the ahas and make the appropriate adjustments. Y'all, if I'm missing your comments, forgive me, because Facebook starts to just scroll from the beginning and it won't let me get to the new one. So type it again real quick if I missed it. Yes, I think I got Coach Tomiko's. Okay, I saw that comment. Let's see who else I missed. How are you recording? So, Coach Lisa, recording could be on Zoom if you're doing video coaching sessions. Recording could be on, I know from back in the day, I used to use freeconferencecall.com. Me and one of my old coaches were talking about this the other day. I literally opened my old free conference call account from 2015. I have 500 recorded calls that's still sitting there. So baby AJ, like my voice was so young and light and now I'm like, I sound like somebody's mama. Well, really somebody's rich auntie. So now it's totally different, but those are 2 platforms that I have personally used. So it just depends on what you use, but keeping a copy of that. And I love going back to the beginning to map out the process. Like, oh, look how far I come. And for me, I love showing our current coaches that I train, hey, I started where you are, listen. And I send like my first YouTube video or my first coaching call recording, etc. to show the growth, because we all got to start somewhere. So that's why I'm recording. Make sure you can download either the video or the audio. And that's how you keep copies of it. But also the most important key that I train my coaches to do is get the permission of the client. If you plan on sharing it outside of their session. So in my case, sometimes I'll use my coaching calls as a teaching tool. So I'll let my client know, or just like Zoom records, like this call is being recorded. Hey, Cynthia Custer, how are you? So, yeah, I usually get their permission, or I'll say free conference call announces that it's being recorded. I'm like, did you hear that? Get that verbal confirmation that they know they're being recorded. And even if they don't want you to record them and share it outside the session, I still record it for my personal notes, and I tell them that, and I'll let them know that it won't be shared outside of this session, and keep your word. So I'll lock those calls. Those are the ones that don't get shared. But those who give me permission, I can use it as a teaching tool for my coaches to show what happened during this session, etc. Did that help? Any other questions? The garbage people are out and they real loud, so y'all may hear them. Any other questions? But yeah, I have been doing that for years, offering my record as a bonus. Sometimes if my writing is really good during the coaching call, I'll take a picture of the notes and I'll send them to the client. It's just going above and beyond. This is literally what you call adding value. You can't really put a price on that. But if you say, when you coach with me, here's an extra bonus, and it's just for me and you, like, that's special. And showing that you're paying attention to them. And imagine you letting them know that you went back and listened to their last coaching call. They're going to be like, oh, I need to do that too, right? And so both of you guys listening, it gives you like a starting off point. Because a lot of our new coaches who get certified with me say, if this is my first session, how am I recapping on our last session? And if you've had a sales consultation with the client that you're about to bring on board and it was recorded, that's how you start session number 1 that they've hired you for. Based on our previously recorded call together and my notes and the recording that I sent you, here's what we talked about, and we can start from here, here, or here. Where do you want to start today? And that's how you kind of pick up where you left off, even if it's your very first coaching session with that client. Does that help, y'all? I'm really hoping y'all picked up something that you will put into place, because it is bigger than just calling yourself a coach because it's trendy. It's about having a process and getting people repeatable results. And when you guys look at me and like, how are you chilling in the middle of the day? Or, what do you really do in the day of a life? Child, I got a recorded process. So much so, Coach Lisa says I'm starting over. In the beginning, Coach Lisa, when people, my assistant sent me a recording I did about 6 years ago, y'all. And I was just like, listen to my baby voice. So listen to it this morning. And in the beginning, let's say Coach Lisa wanted to book a private coaching call with me. And I'll say, Coach Lisa, send me your top 10 most burning questions that you really want to address on our coaching call. And she'll send over via email. You got to do this at least 24 hours before our call because it gives me time to process what I want to share with you. And then I'll look at those 10 questions and I realize it's really only 5 really good questions. She just knew she had to meet a quota of 10. And so she watered down about 5, but I don't tell her. I probably will, knowing my crazy self on the call. And so we really have 5. So I show up to the call and I say, thank you for sending me your 10 questions. I saw 5 that really stood out and how you can combine the other 5 into these that'll answer those extra 5. But we're just going to focus on 3 in this session. Is that okay? Now you have a starting point, what your client wants to know. But not only that, here's the other bonus of value that I give. I've literally already went in and put in bullet points of my answers to these questions. Y'all, I've pre-started the process. So I know how I'm going to answer it. I fill in the blanks. I give them the details. I did this so much and so well that a client who paid me as a brand new coach, I think I was about 1.5 years, 2 years into being a coach. He paid me $500 for 1 hour of my time to sit and do that with him. He sent me his questions. I answered them so well and so detailed. We were an hour into the conversation. He was like, enough, stop. I can't. I'm full. I don't know where to put this information. This is so much. Like, he was overwhelmed with how much I could deliver. Based on those 10 questions that I broke down into 5 that were really 3 that I already showed up with bullet point answers to, I presented my answers. It over flooded his brain. He was like, oh my God. It was like over delivery. And you got a copy of the call? Child, he got his whole life on one call. Can you imagine a series of 12 calls like that? Your entire business will be overhauled. So little tips like this has helped me build my business. And I said, if nothing else, let me show up and share. because somebody needs to hear this. And if you're thinking about recertification, like Coach Lisa said, starting over, maybe you need to hear what you once forgot. Maybe you need to see this in the process, see how people are doing this on an expert level. I told y'all about Coach Andrieka, who made $3,000 in her first 2 weeks as a newly certified coach with me. Check out blacklifecoachcertification.com. Somebody put that in the comments for me, please. It's really long. Let me try. And then y'all ask me one more question and I'm gonna hop off here. My assistant is waiting on me, as well as I got a meeting with my accountants in just a few moments. So I have to talk as I do this, www.blacklifecoachcertification, make sure I spell that right, .com. www.blacklifecoachcertification.com is where to come train with me. Let's see. Facebook used to let me pin. There we go. It's pinned. If you want to know what it's like to come train with me, find out what I know, because I'm putting all my secrets in my handbook. I ain't even going to upsell you on nothing extra. This is all included. You get to see how I run my business, how I made my first $80,000 in my first 2 years as a coach, working 10 hours a week, sitting on my bed in my pajamas like I'm doing right now from my phone and my laptop. But I wrote out the process. That's the difference between me and others. That's the difference between you and lack of success. You got to write the vision. That's the word, y'all. I ain't make that up. I'm just breaking it down for you. So hopefully y'all are also on my email list, because I'm about to send out a really good email about our podcast interview yesterday with our coach who made that $3,000 in 2 weeks, who just surprised me mid-recording, had me crying on mute yesterday. I cried a lot yesterday. But I'm sharing my tips and I'm hoping that they help. One final question or one final takeaway, anybody, and then we're going to wrap this thing on up, because I believe that you got what you needed, and that's why you showed up here, either live with me or to listen to the recording. I got more. I'm going to be sharing more. But as I mentioned, in this season, I jump on when I got something really good to share. So hopefully you was taking notes and you was writing it down. That's the start of that coaching. That's putting it into action, okay? All right. Oh, Lord, I'm getting emails now. Okay, I've been on here too long. One final question, and I'm going to go. Oh, okay. One final question. Anybody? And let me try to scroll to make sure I didn't miss nobody. Alexa says, too good, as I am starting from step 1 as of yesterday. Okay. Okay, I think I got everybody. Thank y'all for the engagement. I see you. Okay. I think I answered all the questions that I see. So until we meet again, my friends, remember, there is someone somewhere, and they are waiting on you, coach, to go write down your process. Walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs, because it's when you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. Coach Renee says, I'm a health coach that took time off. Now I'm looking for clients. You ain't looking for clients looking for you, but you got to have a process that leads them to you. So check out blacklifecoachcertification.com. I teach you how to find clients, how to get them to return. This is one way to do it, just saying. But if you want to become a dual certified life coach, check out blacklifecoachcertification.com, because when you impact one life, you impact generations. Child, I hope I impacted your life today, because I sure got mine, and I feel better. What about you? Meet me over at blacklifecoachcertification.com. See what I'm teaching. See how I train. See what's in my training. See how I wrote down my system. Then I had my assistant go back and double check, like, girl, get the typos and the grammatical errors, because I want the people to know what I offer. I want them to get repeatable results that all of our coaches get, because we wrote it down. So check out blacklifecoachcertification.com, and I'll see y'all soon. I'm Dr. A.J. Austin. I hope you've been blessed. All right, I'm out. God bless. Bye, coaches.